Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Stay
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's me, Ron Cahoot, with
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Well, here I am in the middle of a soccer field, and I'm standing here with Paul Grod, who is the president of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress and vice president of the World Congress. Eh? What's the matter? You couldn't make the grade, or what happened? Or is it coming?
It's coming.
Yeah. Can you be president of both?
Anything's possible, but probably not. It's not a good idea.
No, you'd never be home then, would you?
I'd never be home, and there's a lot to do on the Ukrainian World Congress scene and a lot to do here at home in Canada.
Well, one big thing right now is there's a soccer ball on the ground here. Can you do that fancy thing with the foot?
Kick it around?
No, I neither can. It's called red card for Putin. Together against Russia's aggression. Just going right to the red card. Never mind 3 yellow cards. He's got enough yellow cards. He's got a collection of yellow cards.
And a collection of red cards.
Yeah. So please, what's it about?
So last week in Kyiv, we launched the Red Card for Putin campaign, which was really started by the Ukrainian World Congress and its constituent members, which include the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. We created the International Coalition for Human Rights, which is a broad group of not just Ukrainian, but also other ethno-cultural communities, the Central and Eastern European Council, the Estonian World Council, and many other international organizations which stand for human rights, together with individuals, sports celebrities, and other celebrities who come together to stand up for Putin's aggression. And we created this international campaign under this international coalition in order to bring light to the world, or bring attention to the world, that this during the World Cup, that in fact Russia is a bad actor. They have committed many crimes and broken international rules, and it's important that we shine light on this. So the Red Card for Putin campaign, we will be issuing multiple red cards which highlight the many crimes of Putin and his regime.
Got that many red cards?
We have many red cards. We don't have enough days to actually have. So we will be highlighting things like the Russia's war in the Donbass, the annexation of Crimea, the downing of MH17, and the needless murder of almost 300 civilians by Russian troops, the war in Syria, their own political assassinations in their own country. But in particular, we really want to highlight the fact that there are 150 political prisoners in Russia today, among which there are 70 Ukrainian political prisoners. One of the famous ones is Oleg Sentsov, who is on a hunger strike, and he has committed that he will continue his hunger strike until he's either released, or and all political prisoners are released, or to his death. So we don't have a lot of time. And why this is really important is we really want to focus the international community on the fact that Russia and Putin are bad actors. And today in Russia there are political prisoners who are dying, yet they continue to play soccer and whitewash the crimes of Putin.
The interesting thing is, and the scary thing is that Putin and they don't care, do they?
They don't, and that's why it's really important for the international community to highlight this. And we are calling on the soccer players who are playing in those fields in Russia to take action, and take action by various things. We've seen very prominent athletes bring light to democratic issues, and we're calling on all people of good conscience to take up the call and to hold these signs, to participate in flash mobs throughout the course of the World Cup, and ensure that the international community puts a sufficient pressure that Putin has no choice but to release those political prisoners that are sitting in Russian jails today.
You know, I have a book on the 72 hockey series, and it's written by Harry Sinden, and it goes in great detail of their stay in Russia. Of course, the curtain was up there. Not that there isn't a curtain now, but the curtain was officially up there. And the stuff that the Russians tried to do and did to the Canadian team, and just the kind of stuff they would steal their steaks, take their beer, they would turn the water off, and it really hasn't stopped, has it? It's 2018 and they're still playing those same stupid games.
They're still playing it, and they're using sports for political purposes.
Sure.
And we just can't let Putin get away with that. And we also have to make sure that we keep pressure on the international community, because we see some challenges. We see just at the last G7 meeting here in Canada that you have countries like the United States and Italy that are calling on bringing Putin back to the G8. And so we need to make sure that the international community understands that he is a bad actor and continues to break international rules and create crimes against humanity. And he has to be brought to task, and he needs to take responsibility for that. And the international community can't sit by. So that's why I'm calling on all of, not just the Ukrainian community, but all Canadians to stand up for, and the entire international community, to stand up to Putin's aggression and to call on the immediate release of all political prisoners in Russian jails.
Yeah, it's important that the rest of the world gets it. You know, and for a long time, the rest of the world didn't get it, but they're getting it now.
Well, we need to keep pressure on them to make sure that we continue to highlight this, because there's still a lot of, not even, Canadians, I think, are probably the most educated when it comes to understanding the crime.
Period.
Yes, period. And I think it's important for the international community to stand up. So, we as Canadians have to remind our friends who are cheering their respective teams for the World Cup that this World Cup is being held in a country ruled by basically an authoritarian dictator, kleptocrat. That is creating significant human rights abuses at home and abroad. And there's an active war happening in Ukraine, where there are tens of people being killed on the front lines on a weekly basis. And we have to remind the international community, because they've forgotten about it. And this has to be this has to be stopped.
So are you expecting Italians to boycott the games and not watch their team play?
It's important for the Italians and the Portuguese and the Poles to just understand and to make sure that they highlight and call upon their team and their sports federations to bring attention to this.
Right.
That's what we're calling on them. We're not expecting them to boycott and not watch their teams, but I want them to understand and draw attention to the fact that these games are being held in a country not too dissimilar to Nazi Germany, and ensure that and call on their athletes through their social media channels to stand up to Putin. So that's what those soccer fans can do to help bring an end to Russia's and Putin's human rights abuses.
It's funny, I have decided that the true definition of the word evil is a complete and total lack of empathy. And boy, he wrote the book on it.
There's no empathy there.
As did Hitler, as did, many others.
We just can't shrug our shoulders and let it continue.
No, we have to do something about it, and hopefully it'll get something done. It's a red card for Putin. It's nice that you're giving him something. You're giving him something. It's a nice
multiple red cards. So check out our website. It's IC Human Rights. So letters I and letters C, humanrights.org. Or check us out on Facebook and watch for the calls for flash mobs. Take a picture with this card, post it on your Facebook page. Let the world know that Putin is a bad actor, continues to be a bad actor, and during the World Cup, we have to highlight his crimes during this time and can't let him whitewash it.
I guess if they show up for these flash mobs and these will be available.
They'll be available, but they're easy to print off. Go to the UCC.ca website or the Ukrainian World Congress or hopefully on Contact and download these. Download the red cards, see them as they come up, spread them across their own social media networks so that the entire international community knows about the crimes of Putin.
That's called staying Ukrainian, my friends. It's called staying Canadian. Actually, it's called staying in a free world, my friends. Red card for Putin. Thank you very much, Paul, for sharing this time with us. And let's get out there and show this guy where the grass grows, or where it doesn't. Thanks.
Thanks, Ron.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Stay
Sponsored by Ukrainian Credit Union. Believe it or not, it's me, Ron Cahoot, with
Stay Ukrainian, my friends.
Stay Ukrainian, my friends. Still needs an accordion.